The conference table vibrates as Lieutenant Colonel Barnes slams down his pen. Outside Fort Campbell's windows, morning PT formations move in perfect synchronization, unaware that inside, a 19-year-old soldier's future is being erased. Negligent discharge resulting in traumatic brain injury. Barnes's voice carries finality. Private First Class Reyes will face Article 15 proceedings immediately. Around the table, for officers nod. Major Chun from JAG adjusts his glasses. Captain Mitchell, whose range this happened on, maintains careful neutrality. Two lieutenants type notes, faces masks of detachment. Morning light catches charts, timelines, photographs of twisted metal and blood. Everything pointing to one private lying in a hospital bed with bandages around half his skull. The door opens. First Sergeant Ellen Harper enters carrying a thick folder. 24 years of service ribbons create a rainbow across her chest. Bronze Star, Purple Heart, combat patches from 3 wars. A stunningly beautiful woman with Russian features. Porcelain skin dusted with freckles, sharp nose bridge, long light brown hair in a messy bun. Those captivating green eyes have seen 18-year-olds die in Fallujah. Her presence fills the room in fitted gray t-shirt, dark military pants, brown combat boots that have walked through Iraqi sand and Afghan mountains. Sir, I need to present evidence regarding the investigation. Barnes doesn't look up. First Sergeant, this matter has been resolved. The safety brief was last updated in 2019. Ellen's voice cuts through like a drill instructor's whistle. The equipment that failed was marked serviceable despite 3 documented maintenance requests dating back to March. The room goes silent. Barnes raises his eyes, something dangerous in them. Sergeant Harper, you're dangerously close to insubordination. Ellen places the folder on the table. Her wedding ring clicks against wood, the same ring she twisted the day they told her about Danny in Kandahar. With respect, sir, a soldier's career is never above my pay grade. Barnes leans back. We have 7 witness statements. Private Reyes failed to maintain proper grip on the M67 grenade. Facts can be manufactured, sir. Truth can't. The tension crystallizes. Everyone knows Harper's reputation. The NCO, who testified against Colonel Williams in the Fort Jackson investigation, who stood before Congress after her son's death. Your witness statements, Ellen repeats slowly. All 7 just happen to be from Captain Mitchell's direct chain of command. Mitchell's Adams Applebobs. They were the personnel present. According to this duty roster, there were 14 personnel on that range. Where are the statements from the other 7? Too far to observe clearly. Barnes cuts in. Ellen's eyes narrow. She thinks of Reyes in that hospital bed, his mother crying in the hallway. The boy reminds her too much of Danny. Sir, I trained Private Reyes personally. His technique was flawless. Overconfidence leads to complacency. Major Chin offers. Major, have you ever had a grenade explode in your hand because of faulty primer? Ellen's voice remains level but steel underneath. Because I have. Kandahar, 2011. Same contractor that supplies our training grenades. Barnes's jaw works. That's speculation without evidence. Private Reyes was alone because Sergeant Mitchell pulled the range safety officer away 30 seconds before the incident. For a phone call that, according to records, never happened. Mitchell's face drains. I don't appreciate what you're implying. I am stating facts. Verifiable facts. Barnes stands abruptly, using his 6 feet 2 inches height as intimidation. First Sergeant Harper, you're emotionally compromised. Everyone knows about your son. The words hang like a live grenade. Ellen's hands remain steady. My son, 2nd Lieutenant Daniel Harper, 75th Ranger Regiment, was killed in action August 15, 2012, leading a rescue mission. He died doing what was right, not what was convenient. She pauses. Yes, sir, Private Reyes reminds me of him. They have the same dedication. The difference is my son died from enemy action. Private Reyes is being destroyed by friendly fire, the administrative kind. You're dismissed. We'll handle this through proper channels. Request permission to review the range footage, sir. The footage was corrupted, Mitchell says quickly. All 4 cameras simultaneously. Ellen's tone could freeze water. You're walking a dangerous line, Sergeant Harper. Ellen returns. Permission to speak freely? Denied. I'm going to speak anyway. Her voice carries authority from every combat zone survived. In 18 months, I retire. Full pension. My husband has cancer. Stage 3. We need that medical coverage. I have every reason to let you railroad that boy. She leans forward. But I took an oath, not to protect my career, but to lead, train, and protect soldiers. If you think I'm going to stand by while you destroy a good soldier to cover up systematic failures, you don't know who you're dealing with. I'm requesting a formal review board under UCMJ Article 92 and Army Regulation 15-6. Shin speaks quickly. That regulation applies to... I know what it applies to, Major. I've been reading regulations since you were in middle school. Barnes sets down his phone. You're making a serious mistake. Maybe, but at least I'll be able to look at myself in the mirror. I'll expect the review board within 72 hours as required. Good morning, gentlemen. Just before she reaches the door, Barnes speaks. Harper, your husband's treatment is at Vanderbilt, isn't it? Very expensive. It would be unfortunate if there were complications with your retirement benefits. The threat hangs in the air. Even Mitchell seems shocked. Ellen turns slowly, eyes melting steel. Sir, did you just threaten to interfere with my earned benefits? Barnes realizes his mistake. Chun is already texting the staff judge advocate. I was simply noting the importance of careful consideration. Then I'm sure you'll have no objection to my careful consideration, including full investigation of maintenance records for all training equipment. In the hallway, Ellen allows herself 3 seconds against the wall, hands shaking. Then she straightens and heads toward the aid station. Staff Sergeant Doc Williams is in the supply room, inventorying bandages. Built like a linebacker, hands steady as surgeon's tools, hands that try to keep Reyes's skull together 5 days ago. First Sergeant, he says without looking up, we need to talk about Reyes. Official or unofficial, the kind that protects soldiers. That's the dangerous kind. Doc finally looks up. I can't testify. Mitchell made that clear. My wife just got her green card. Our daughter starts kindergarten next month. I'm not asking you to testify. But you were wearing your body cam when you responded. Silence stretches. Finally, Doc reaches in his cargo pocket, pulls out a thumb drive. I'm about to take my break. I'll probably forget my coffee. He sets his mug on the counter, thumb drive barely visible underneath, and walks out. Ellen waits 60 seconds, palms the drive, and leaves. She takes 30 minutes back to her office, doubling back twice. The office feels like enemy territory. Danny's portrait sits on her desk, Forever 23 in his Ranger tan beret. Ellen locks the door, pulls blinds, disconnects from network, and inserts the drive. The video opens, Doc's chest-mounted camera bouncing as he runs. Shouts, commands, screaming. Then Doc's calm voice. Get back. Give me room. The camera steadies. Reyes is conscious but confused, blood streaming from his head. His left hand is mangled, but not as badly as it should be from holding a detonating grenade. His right hand is still in perfect throwing position, follow-through complete. The grenade didn't explode in his hand. It detonated mid-flight, only 3 meters from the throwing position instead of 35. What happened? Doc asks. Reyes's response is slurred but clear. Threw it perfect, document. Just like First Sergeant taught. It just exploded in the air, like the primer went off twice. Ellen Pouzies, Revins. The fragment pattern, the wound angles, Reyes's body position, all confirm equipment failure, not user error. Captain Mitchell appears in frame, pushes Doc aside. Turn off that camera. Sir, I need to document injuries. Turn it off. That's an order. Screen goes black, but audio continues. Mitchell's voice lower. You saw nothing unusual. The private fumbled the throw. Are we clear? Pause. Then Doc's voice, heavy with resignation. Clear, sir. The recording ends. Ellen leans back. This raises reasonable doubt, but she needs more. She needs the maintenance logs, the real ones. Her phone buzzes. Unknown number. You have 1 hour to reconsider. After that, things get complicated. Ellen deletes the text and stands. 1 hour. She'll need less. The maintenance building sits at the far end of the motor pool. Ellen waits until 1700 hours. Most support staff gone. Night shift not yet settled. Master Sergeant Weber's office is meticulously organized on the surface. The official logbooks are displayed prominently, but there's a locked filing cabinet in the corner. Ellen pulls out her multi-tool, gift from Danny on her 40th birthday. For the mom who can fix anything. The lock is basic. Takes her 3 minutes. Inside, the real logs tell a different story. March 15th, M67 batch number 231 showing primer degradation. Request immediate replacement. Status, denied, budget constraints. April 2nd, same batch failed inspection. 15% showing hairline cracks. Status, pending review. April 20th, urgent. Batch should be removed immediately. Risk of premature detonation. Status, marked resolved without action. And there, in Weber's handwriting, contractor promises replacement by Q3. Use current stock until then. Risk minimal. Ellen photographs each page. She's so focused, she almost misses footsteps in the hallway. Almost. She quietly closes the cabinet, relocks it, moves behind the door. Weber enters, flipping lights on while talking on his phone. Yeah, I'm here now. No, she hasn't been. He stops mid-sentence, sensing something off. I'll call you back. Weber is 48, built like a man who lifted weights to forget bad memories. His hand moves to his hip where she knows he keeps a knife. I know you're here, Harper. Ellen steps out, hands visible and empty. Weber, you're trespassing. I'm investigating. Same thing in this case. Weber moves between her and the door. Barnes said you might try something stupid. Since when do you take orders from Barnes? Since he signs my evaluation reports. His hand hasn't left his knife. You should leave before this becomes something neither of us can walk back. Ellen's phone is recording audio in her pocket. How much did Defense Tech Industries pay you, Carl? His pupils dilate slightly. I don't know what you're talking about. $50,000 over 3 years to approve faulty equipment. I've seen the emails. His expression shifts, surprise flickering. You've got nothing. I've got 47 maintenance requests you buried. I've got a pattern of equipment failures you covered up. And I've got a 19-year-old soldier with traumatic brain injury because you valued contractor kickbacks over soldier safety. Weber steps closer. You know what your problem is, Harper? You still think the world runs on honor and integrity. Your son died thinking that too. Don't. What? Mention the fact that you're trying to save Reyes because you couldn't save your own kid. I said don't. Or what? You'll report me with what evidence? Everything in that cabinet is perfectly legal. Creative interpretation maybe, but legal. 47 safety requests ignored. 3 soldiers injured. 47 requests deferred pending budget approval. 3 minor training accidents within statistical norms. Weber's confidence grows. You're out of your depth. This isn't about one private. This is about contracts worth millions. Things way above your pay grade. Ellen's phone is still recording. So you admit you knew the equipment was faulty. Weber laughs. I admit nothing. But hypothetically, if someone had to choose between their son's college tuition and raising a stink about grenades that probably wouldn't fail, well, people make choices. Your son's tuition. That's what Reyes's brain was worth. My son's not lying in a hospital bed. No, but Reyes is. And his mother should have raised a son who could throw a grenade properly. Weber's mask slips. Look, Harper, I'll make this simple. Walk away. Barnes will reduce Reyes's punishment to general discharge. No criminal charges. The kid gets medical care. You keep your retirement. Everyone moves on. And the next soldier who gets a faulty grenade, there won't be a next one. New batch arrives next month. How convenient. Right after Reyes's case closes. Weber's phone buzzes. His expression changes. You need to leave now. Why? Barnes sending the MPs. Just go out the back. Move. Something in his tone makes Ellen comply. She's almost to the door when she hears vehicles pulling up. Doors slamming. Voices shouting commands. She slips out the back into the maze of connexes as the front door crashes open. From concealment, she watches MPs flood Weber's office, but they're arresting Weber. Her phone vibrates. Unknown number, different area code. Check your email. Torres. Command Sergeant Major Torres. Ellen checks her phone. Encrypted email with video attachment. Grainy security footage from a week ago. Weber meeting a man in civilian clothes behind the commissary. Money changing hands. The civilian's face clear. David Kenworth, Defense Tech Industries senior sales rep, currently under federal investigation for bribing officials at Fort Hood. Torres's note. Been investigating Weber for 6 months. Your visit today spooked him into destroying evidence. MPs moved early to prevent it. You're clear, but Barnes doesn't know that yet. Use it. Ellen allows herself a small smile. Sometimes the system works. Her phone rings. Barnes. First Sergeant Harper, my office. Now. On my way, sir. Barnes's office feels like walking into an ambush. He's standing behind his desk, backlit by the setting sun. Major Chun sits in leather chair. Captain Mitchell stands near the window. Sergeant Harper. Barnes doesn't invite her to sit. Master Sergeant Weber was just arrested. You were seen near his office. I was investigating maintenance records, sir, as is my responsibility. Breaking and entering is a crime. I use my master key, sir, issued to all first sergeants for emergency access. I believe there was immediate threat to soldier safety. Chin interjects. That's a thin legal justification. AR 600-20, Chapter 3, Section 4. NCOs have inherent responsibility to protect soldiers from preventable harm. Barnes's jaw clenches. Weber's arrest complicates things, but doesn't change the facts of Reyes's case. Actually, sir, it does. Ellen pulls out her phone, showing the maintenance log photos. These documents prove the grenades were known defective. Private Reyes followed proper procedure with faulty equipment. Documents obtained illegally, Chin points out. Documents now part of a federal investigation. The FBI will subpoena them within hours. Do you really want to proceed when evidence will show command knew about equipment failures? Silence. Mitchell shifts nervously. Barnes walks to his window, hands clasped behind his back. Finally, he turns. What do you want, Harper? Full exoneration for Private Reyes. Medical discharge with honors. Full benefits and disability compensation. Formal safety review of all training equipment. That's a lot. That's justice, sir. The office door opens. Command Sergeant Major Torres enters. At 61, Torres is everything a senior NCO should be. Weathered, wise, utterly unimpressed by officer politics. Evening, Colonel, First Sergeant. Torres nods. Heard there was discussion about one of our soldiers. Sergeant Major, this is a private meeting, Barnes says stiffly. Nothing's private when it concerns soldier welfare, sir. Torres pulls out a tablet. I've been reviewing the Reyes case. Interesting timing with Weber's arrest. That's unrelated. Mitchell starts. Is it? Because according to CAD preliminary report, Weber specifically mentioned covering up grenade failures to protect, quote, career progression of key personnel. That sounds related. Blood drains from Mitchell's face. Chun furiously takes notes. Torres continues. I've also been informed General Miller from Division will be here tomorrow for a previously scheduled visit. She's expressed interest in observing our administrative review process. General Patricia Miller, 2 stars, former infantry commander, famously intolerant of cover-ups. Ellen surpresses os, Menil. This is getting out of hand, Barnes says. No, sir. It's getting handled properly for once. Ellen's phone buzzes. Photo from unknown number. Miguel Reyes in his hospital bed. Bandages around his head. Mother holding his hand. Boy's eyes open but unfocused. Message underneath. He asked why everyone is angry at him. He thinks he did something wrong. She shows it to the room. Even Chin looks uncomfortable. 24 hours, Barnes repeats weakly. Tonight, sir, Ellen insists. By 2200 hours, I want paperwork started for medical discharge with full honors. Otherwise, I'll be in General Miller's office at 0600 with everything I've documented. Barnes knows Ellen's reputation. She testified before Congress once. She'll do it again. You're destroying your career, Barnes says quietly. No one likes a troublemaker. Ellen thinks of Danny, of the flag they gave her at his funeral. Sir, my career became irrelevant the day they put my son in the ground. What matters is boys like Reyes get the protection they deserve. Torres steps forward. Colonel, the smart move is to get ahead of this. Be the commander who identified and corrected a problem, not the one caught hiding it. Barnes is trapped. Fina, draft the paperwork. Medical discharge, full honors, full benefits. But this stays quiet. Agreed, Ellen says. And Mitchell, you're relieved of training duties pending investigation. Chun stands. I'll start the paperwork immediately, sir. Harper, you've got what you wanted, Barnes says. I hope you're satisfied. I'll be satisfied when Private Reyes gets the care he needs and the honor he deserves. Sir, at the door, Barnes speaks once more. Harper, she pauses. Your son would be proud. The words could be mocking, but something in Barnes's tone suggests sincerity. Thank you, sir. Outside, Torres walks with her. You know there will be consequences. Barnes won't forget this. I know. Your last 18 months could be very unpleasant. They already are, Ellen replies, thinking of Robert at home with medications lined up like soldiers at formation. At least now, they'll mean something. Torres stops at the stairwell. For what it's worth, you did the right thing. We've been losing soldiers to cowardice. Leaders who know what's right, but choose what's safe. Torres nods. You should know General Miller specifically asked about you. Seems she remembers your testimony at Fort Jackson. That was 6 years ago. Generals have long memories for people who tell uncomfortable truths. Torres pulls out a business card. She wanted you to have her direct line. Ellen takes the card. Tell her I said thank you. Tell her yourself. She'll be at the review tomorrow. Robert is awake when she gets home, sitting at the kitchen table. At 52, cancer has aged him 10 years and 2. His once thick hair is gone, frame gaunt, but his eyes still hold the same warmth from Fort Bragg 28 years ago. Heard you caused some trouble today. News travels fast. NCO network was buzzing. He closes his laptop, revealing a printed email. Someone named Reyes sent this. Miguel's mother. Ellen reads the message, broken English mixed with Spanish. Thank you and God bless you, repeated throughout. Photo of Miguel from before, bright-eyed, smiling, dress uniform at basic training graduation. You did good, Ellen. She sits heavily, suddenly exhausted. I might have killed my career. Your career was already dying. You've been going through motions since Danny. This is the first time I've seen you truly alive in years. I couldn't save another one, Rob. I couldn't watch another mother lose her son to the system. I know. He takes her hand. His skin paper thin, marked with 4 bruises but grip still strong. Danny would be proud. Barnes said the same thing. Even broken clocks are right twice a day. They sit in comfortable silence. Outside, Fort Campbell continues. Helicopters flying, night training, eternal rhythm. Ellen's phone buzzes. Unknown number, Washington, D.C. area code. First Sergeant Harper. The voice is female, professional, familiar. Yes, this is General Miller. I understand there's an interesting review scheduled for tomorrow. Ellen straightens instinctively. Yes, ma'am. I've been reviewing the files Sergeant Major Torres forwarded. Disturbing patterns. This isn't just about one private, is it? No, ma'am. It's about a system that protects itself instead of soldiers. Pause. I'll be attending tomorrow's review. I suggest you bring everything you've documented. Not just about Reyes, but about the pattern of equipment failures, maintenance issues, cover-ups. Ma'am, I'm not sure I have standing to. You have standing because I'm giving it to you. 0900, Conference Room 1. Don't be late. The line goes dead. Ellen looks at Robert. Sounds like tomorrow's going to be interesting. Sounds like tomorrow's going to be war. Ellen spends the rest of the evening organizing evidence. Body cam footage, maintenance logs, photographs, duty rosters. She creates copies, uploads to secure cloud server, emails duplicates to her personal attorney. By midnight, she's ready. Robert has gone to bed, breathing labored but steady. Ellen sits alone, looking at Danny's photo. Commissioning ceremony, brand new butter bar gleaming, smile bright with possibility. I'm trying, baby, she whispers. I'm trying to make it mean something. The next morning, Ellen goes through her routine with military precision. Shower, fitted gray t-shirt, dark military pants, brown combat boots polished to a mirror shine. Long light brown hair pulled in a messy high bun, loose curls framing her face. Robert stirs. Today's the day. Today's the day. Give him hell, Sergeant. She kisses his forehead, tasting metallic medication. Always do. She arrives at division headquarters at 0830. The parking lot holds several vehicles she recognizes, and one she didn't expect. A black SUV with 2-star plates. General Miller is already here. Through conference room glass, Ellen sees them. Barnes at the head, Chun and Mitchell flanking 2 other officers, and at the far end, General Patricia Miller. Ellen enters without knocking. Conversation stops. First Sergeant Harper. Miller's voice carries authority earned in Iraq, Afghanistan, Pentagon battles. Thank you for joining us. We were just discussing the timeline. Mom. Ellen renders proper courtesy, takes the only empty chair across for Barnes. Colonel Barnes was explaining how Private Reyes came to be charged with negligence. Miller continues, slight emphasis on explaining. Yes, ma'am. Barnes says, confidence diminished in Miller's presence. Based on witness statements and initial investigation. 7 witnesses, all from the same unit. Ellen interrupts. All under Captain Mitchell's direct command. First Sergeant, Mitchell flushes, the integrity of my soldiers is not. Their objectivity is. Ellen pulls out her tablet, connects to the conference screen. It's not an accusation, Major. It's a pattern. She brings up her first slide, chart showing training incidents over 2 years. 17 incidents involving equipment failure. In 14, the soldier was found at fault. In all 14, the only witnesses were from training cadre. Coincidence, Barnes says. Pattern, Ellen counters. She switches slides. The 3 incidents where soldiers were exonerated all had independent witnesses. Medical personnel, visiting units, civilian contractors. Show me the Reyes incident specifically. Miller leans forward. Ellen brings up the body cam footage. The room watches in silence. Reyes on the ground, blood streaming, hands in perfect throwing position. His slurred words, threw it perfect, document. Just like First Sergeant taught. It just exploded in the air. Then Mitchell's voice. Turn off that camera, Sergeant. Miller's expression doesn't change, but something shifts. Captain Mitchell, explain why you ordered medical documentation to cease. Mitchell swallows hard. Ma'am, I was concerned about operational security. On a training range at Fort Campbell. Miller's tone could freeze water. Try again. I believe the scene needed to be secured. Major Chun, is that standard procedure? Chun looks miserable. No, ma'am. Medical documentation is protected and necessary. Ellen advances to audio. Mitchell's voice fills the room. You saw nothing unusual. The private fumbled the throw. Are we clear? The silence is deafening. Miller turns to Barnes. Colonel, were you aware of this recording? No, ma'am. But you proceeded with charges without investigating why your training officer was directing witnesses. Barnes's jaw works. Based on available information. Based on information that was carefully curated, Ellen interjects. She brings up maintenance logs, goes through them methodically. Every ignored request, every deferred repair, every warning about faulty grenades. With each slide, Barnes sinks lower. And this, Ellen brings up her final piece, is from yesterday evening. Weber's recording plays. His voice admitting cover-up, talking about his son's tuition, about choices and statistics. General Miller stands slowly. Gentlemen, we have systemic failure of leadership. Equipment knowingly faulty, safety concerns deliberately ignored, a junior soldier scapegoated to protect careers, and most damning, an active conspiracy to suppress evidence. Ma'am, Barnes starts. Colonel Barnes, you're relieved of command pending investigation. Captain Mitchell, you're under arrest for violation of Articles 92 and 107 of the UCMJ, dereliction of duty and false official statements. Mitchell stands abruptly. Ma'am, I demand. You demand nothing. Miller's voice cracks like a whip. Military police are waiting outside. Go quietly, or I'll add resisting to your charges. 2 MPs enter. Mitchell looks around for support, finds none, follows them out. Miller turns to Chun. Major, you have one chance to save your career. Full cooperation with investigation. Every document, every email, every conversation. Get started. Dismissed. Chun practically runs from the room. Now it's just Miller, Barnes, and Ellen. First Sergeant Harper. Miller says, "Your actions over the past 48 hours have been irregular." "Yes, ma'am." "Accessing offices without authorization, recording conversations without consent, threatening superior officers." "Yes, ma'am." Miller allows a small smile. Textbook tactical excellence. You identified the objective, gathered intelligence, exploited weaknesses, achieved victory with minimal casualties. Barnes makes a choking sound. Miller continues, "I'm recommending you for the Meritorious Service Medal. Additionally, I'm fast-tracking your promotion packet to Sergeant Major." "Ma'am, I only have 18 months. 17 months as a Sergeant Major is better than none." Miller turns to Barnes. "Colonel, you'll process First Sergeant Harper's promotion immediately. Consider it your last official act before suspension." Barnes's face has progressed through red to purple. "General, with respect, she violated numerous regulations. To protect a soldier, you were railroading." Miller's voice drops to Arctic temperatures. "A soldier injured by equipment we knew was faulty." She pulls out her phone. "Private Reyes's prognosis as of 0600 today. Partial recovery expected, but permanent cognitive impairment likely. 20% disability rating minimum. He'll never serve again. Never fulfill his dream of becoming an officer." She sets down the phone with deliberate precision. "His mother sold her car yesterday to pay for a specialist because she wasn't sure the Army would cover it. His 14-year-old sister dropped out of school to work because someone needs to pay rent while their mother sits at the hospital." Each word lands like a hammer blow. "So yes, Colonel Barnes, First Sergeant Harper broke some regulations. But you broke faith with your soldiers, with their families, with the uniform you wear. Which violation matters more?" Barnes says nothing. First Sergeant Harper. Miller turns back to Ellen. "I need you to compile everything you've gathered. CID will want a complete report. Additionally, identify every soldier who's been similarly affected over the past 3 years. We're reviewing every training accident, every equipment failure, every administrative punishment that might have been covering up systemic problems." "Yes, ma'am. One more thing." Miller's expression softens slightly. "I remember your testimony at Fort Jackson about your son, about the notification process." "Yes, ma'am. The changes you recommended were implemented Army-wide. Because of you, no family gets notified by a chaplain who mispronounces their child's name. No mother stands alone at Dover because the casualty assistance officer got the time wrong. Your son's death brought changes that have helped hundreds of families." Ellen can't speak. "And now you're doing it again. Private Reyes will recover because you fought for him. Future soldiers will be safer because you exposed this. That's legacy, First Sergeant. That's honor." Miller heads for the door, pauses. "Barnes, you have until close of business to submit your retirement papers." "That's not a suggestion." She leaves. Barnes sits in the wreckage of his career, looking older than his 53 years. "I hope you're happy," he says. Ellen stands, gathering materials. "Happy? No, sir. A 19-year-old kid has brain damage. A mother is crying in a hospital chapel. Good NCOs like Weber sold their integrity for money. Nobody's happy here." She heads for the door. "But Private Reyes will get the care he needs. His family will be supported. And maybe the next commander will think twice before choosing career over conscience." "That's not happiness, Colonel. That's just doing the right thing." She leaves Barnes alone with the ruins of his ambition. The rest of the morning blurs. CID interviews, paperwork, phone calls. By noon, news has spread across Fort Campbell. Ellen's phone buzzes constantly. Texts from NCOs offering support. Emails from soldiers sharing their own stories. She finally escapes to the hospital at 1,400 hours. Miguel Reyes is in neurology. Machines monitoring his damaged brain for drips feeding medication. His mother, Maria, is beside his bed. She's 43 but looks 60. When she sees Ellen, she stands immediately, tears flowing. "Sergeant Harper," her accent thick with emotion. They tell me Miguel will receive full benefits, that the army will pay for everything. Yes, ma'am, everything. Maria takes Ellen's hands. They're rough hands, calloused from years cleaning office buildings at night. Why? Why did you fight for us? You don't know us. Ellen looks at Miguel, sees Danny in the shape of his jaw. Because someone should have fought for my son, and because your son deserves someone who would. Maria pulls her into an embrace that smells of hospital soap and desperate hope. Over her shoulder, Ellen sees Miguel's eyes flutter open. Unfocused, confused but aware. Mom. His voice is thick. Maria rushes to him, Spanish flowing like water. Ellen starts to leave, but Miguel's hand catches hers. Grip weak, but determined. First Sergeant, did I do something wrong at the range? Ellen squeezes gently. No, soldier. You did everything perfect. The equipment failed, not you. So, I'm not in trouble. No trouble. You're getting a medical discharge with full honors. Full benefits for you and your family. Miguel's eyes fill with tears. But I wanted to serve like my grandfather in Vietnam. You did serve, Ellen tells him firmly. You serve with honor, and your injury is going to make sure other soldiers don't get hurt the same way. That's service too. He nods slowly, processing through damaged neural pathways. Will you visit sometimes? Every week until you're discharged. She stays another hour until Maria's sister arrives. As she's leaving, she runs into Doc Williams. Heard you raised hell, he says with a slight smile. Heard you provided the ammunition. Body cam footage was medical documentation, perfectly legal to share with patient's chain of command. His smile widens. At least that's what Jag tells me now. Your career okay? Better than okay. General Miller personally thanked me for maintaining medical integrity under pressure. I'm getting transferred to Walter Reed next month. Promotion to Master Sergeant. You deserve it, document. So do you. Heard about the Sergeant Major promotion. They shake hands, warrior to warrior. Ellen drives home as the sun sets over Fort Campbell. The post looks different somehow, not physically but in meaning. For years, it's been going through motions, counting days until retirement. Now it feels like a battlefield again, just a different kind of war. Robert is in the kitchen when she gets home, attempting to cook despite his weakness. The smell of burning something fills the air. I ordered pizza, he admits.